What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy, and I'm in the car, but I'm not going to work today. Actually, believe it or not, today I am on my way to Walmart because I'm trying to catch when the MJ Holdings guy is restocking the Pokemon cards. Yeah, because I have a problem, and two, everyone else has an even bigger problem. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to social media or Pokemon social media for that matter, but the newest set that's come out called Prismatic Evolutions, I think we've talked about it I forget what I talk about week to week on this podcast, and I am so sorry. But it has been insane. I know we've talked about Blooming Waters coming out in like Costco's and people are fighting, or maybe I was mentioning both of them all at the one. But so yeah, there's two sets that are coming out. One is a collected edition, like one of the last collected editions of the Pokemon 151 set, which I've master setted, but I want these promo cards. Currently they've been being released in like Canada and other countries, but they're slowly making their way into the United States, and that's the Blooming Waters 151. But here recently, as of last week, the Evolutions special set has just come out, the Prismatic Evolutions, or the Traumatic Evolutions, what they're calling it. And there have been fights galore because of this, too. Like, people have been losing their shit trying to get their hands on this. Oh, yeah, we did talk about this because Pokemon last week released a statement saying, hey, we're going to be printing out a bunch more because we've heard the demand and we've heard people are fighting, and that's despite how much money we still make regardless. Like, it looks bad, right? It looks bad on them. So, like, that has helped drive some of the prices down on like the third market, or like the quote unquote black market of Pokemon cards, the reseller market. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. It has helped drive down some of the prices, which were outrageous. But it's still like a no holds bar, like trying to get this stuff, which is crazy because yesterday, it was funny. We were visiting a town not too far from us, and sorry, I'm at a turn, but yeah, we were visiting a town not too far from us, got a mall there, and we were just going because we like RJ1 loves collecting Pokemon cards, like, and he likes getting bulk cards and stuff, but he likes to be able to, like, he doesn't like, RJ doesn't like booster packs. He doesn't like to gamble. So he's not like his dad. But he likes going through like the bulk card bin, and he can find Pokemon that he's seen on Pokemon Horizons, the new Netflix show, or just ones that have been in his head. And so it's really great. He goes there, we go to the two local shops there, and we just dig through their bulk until he finds cards he's looking for. Like, currently, he's really into Cerulege and Armorage, which are from the new series in the new game, Scarlet and Violet. And they're pretty badass. They're like, Armorage is, I think, a straight-up fire type, and Cerulege is like a ghost fire type, but he has blades for hands, and Armorage has cannons for hands. So, like, hell yeah. Like, every little boy's wet dream right there, right? But, so yeah, we were doing that, and we did it like spur of the moment kind of thing. So we had forgotten to grab like food and snacks for him. We were like, we'll just pick it up on the way. Well, of course, he's like, hey man, I want some goldfish. And I was like, oh shit, we got to go get some goldfish. And I thought to myself, well, we'll just go to Target because it's on the way out of the town. Like, it's like one of the last shopping places out when you're leaving. And no harm, no foul. Also, my wife's brother works there. So yeah, we can go stop by, say hi and everything. And we go in, and as we're walking by, of course, Target has a card section. and don't see anything. Just kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So we go grab his goldfish, and then we start coming back to the register, and then I see this girl who works there, and she's got a basket by the cards, and I was like, oh, maybe. And so, of course, me being nosy, I walk over, but then I see it. And it's just the sticker collection, which is like, it comes with some stickers and 3 booster packs, but it's Prismatic Evolution. I never thought I would see Prismatic Evolution in the wild and be able to get it for actual retail price. The sticker collection is $15, which makes sense, about $5 per booster pack, plus you get some stickers. So really, I guess the booster pack, total, because the stickers obviously cost something, right? But everyone pretty much says, booster packs $5, makes a lot of sense. So I picked up 3, because I'm not crazy, dude. I'm not like one of these people that are like going to buy the whole sticker collection because it doesn't have what I want. What I want is the Elite Trainer boxes that have the booster packs. So I'm not some kind of animal that's going to buy all the sticker collections because I don't know how to act. And I bought just 3. I bought 1 of each Pokemon. Like, they have like a Sylveon, a Glaceon, and I think an Espeon. Yeah, I think those were the little like promo cards in front of this. Yeah, you get a promo card too with the sticker collection. So, like, I guess for $15, pretty sweet deal, right? Anyway, so we grabbed that. I thought it was pretty cool. RJ was like, ooh, Pokemon cards. I was like, yeah. And he's like, ooh, Eevee. And I was like, yeah. And we get his goldfish and we head out. Cut to probably a couple hours later. No, not even. It's had to have been maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours later, because, we just got home and I think we settled down. And then Casey's brother texted her. It was like, dude, I had to go back in because they just had like some big fight over Pokemon cards in the store. So like we were like minutes away from being in one of those viral brawl videos over Pokemon cards. Like, which, I had my son with me. If it was going to get to that point, there's no way. Like, I'm not putting my son in danger, let alone fighting other people for Pokemon cards. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that is literally the final stages of capitalism, right? Like, that's when the world is ending and we start killing each other, right? Like, I don't know. It's just freaking stupid, dude. And I was just so lucky to happen to be there when this chick was putting out the sticker collections, and I had my son with me, but no one else was around. Like, because obviously they don't keep tabs on Target like that. And so, like, 1, thank God, right? But 2, like, minutes away from total annihilation. So anyway, now here I am in the car talking to you guys because I'm going to try to see if Walmart has stocked some Elite Trainer boxes, and I'm either going to be really happy or really upset. But we'll talk about that later. Up next, the Nifty Nerd News. All right, guys, up first in the Nifty Nerd News. Turns out the card guy hasn't stocked yet, which, no. Well, it turns out like he hasn't stocked yet, which makes me sad because I drove all the way to Walmart for an addiction and for nothing. But I'm not completely defeated because I didn't miss out on grabbing cards. So I'm going to try again probably around lunchtime just to see, man. Like, and what's funny is my wife is totally on board because she saw how upset I was last week when I missed out. Like, and I tried to hide it, but I couldn't because I'm a child. But so she's like, yeah, babe, you need this. That's like how she feels. And so, it's just great to have a supportive wife. But at the same time, I'm like, oh God, it's gone that bad. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't miss out. So we're happy about that. So let's move on to the real Nifty Nerd News, guys. Up first, Nintendo has finally given us something about the new Nintendo Switch. We're getting a Nintendo Switch 2. It's going to be even bigger. It looks like it's going to be bigger than even the OLED model, which I have, the white model, which I'm excited about. A bigger screen, But then, like, I also think, like, man, at least to me, the OLED model, which was the same size of the first Nintendo Switch, just with a larger screen, like that to me felt really perfect. Like at this point, if you go much bigger, are we playing on a tab? I mean, we're essentially just playing on a tablet, but I don't know. I guess I just have to have one in my hand to see, like, is this too big? Does it feel right? Because then you start running in some weird territory, I guess. I don't know. Like, I think about the Wii U controller that they had, the big ass controller with the screen. It was really the predecessor to the Nintendo Switch. I just remember that feeling kind of big and bulky, and then the Nintendo Switch felt a little more sleek and stylish. So bigger isn't always better in my opinion, but we'll have to see because it doesn't look like it like on a side by side comparison that they even show, it doesn't look that massively huge compared to it. It is noticeably bigger, but it's not like we doubled the size of the Nintendo Switch so you can just see from across the room. You might as well just put controllers on your TV because that's what we're doing. No, that's not actually what they're doing. But so we'll see. I'm excited. I mean, I have two Nintendo Switches, one for my son and one for me. So what I might end up doing is just getting rid of my son's old one, or maybe I'll just try selling the OLED model and moving up to or maybe I'll just keep them. I don't know. Well, it, I don't know. It's hard to get money for something when the new thing's been released. So it's like maybe I should have sold it a year ago and could have got quite a bit of money for it. But I don't know. We'll see. Up next in the Nifty Nerd news, Hugh Jackman plans to remain in the MCU's Wolverine role for at least another 10 years. Well, comes out of like a rumor. So this isn't like complete fact that he was just like, hey, this is what's happening, and I signed a contract. But rumor has it that he really plans on staying as the Wolverine for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I'm totally fine with. I think he plays a good role. There are plenty of stories to tell with Wolverine and an older Wolverine, not necessarily the old man Logan storyline, but older, more grussel or like gruffy and just mean Wolverine's pretty cool. Like, but then like the Wolverine we got in Deadpool Wolverine was really awesome too. And so I don't know. I dig it. I dig how he's kind of formed into this role of the Wolverine, and it's been badass. And if he wants to stay on, like if that's the plan, that's awesome because just how many years ago before Deadpool and Wolverine, he was ready to put it up and not want to do it again. But then he's like just a new lease on life or a divorce. We'll do that to you. Make you want to work more. I don't know. But it would be cool, I think there's a lot of good stories to tell, and maybe he sees that. Maybe he's like, hey, you know what? Being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe versus the Fox universe has a lot more opportunity for storytelling, a lot more chances to work with different actors, and just get to play in this playground just a little bit longer. So who knows? I know if I was given the chance, of course, I'm just Joe Schmo, right? But if I was given the chance to play in the MCU, even like just some bullshit character or whatever, but if I got a multi-movie deal out of it, bro, in a heartbeat, Marvel, I'll do it at like 500 grand. Like, at least, well, let me rephrase that. A year. Like, oh my God. Well, I mean, as long as I'm making my salary yearly, I would do it because then I get to go to work every day, right? Or like, it wouldn't be going to work, it'd be going to the movies every day. Well, I mean, it would be work, but I'm around actors and movies and stuff like that every day or while we're filming. So, like, yes, sign me up, Marvel. $200,000 a year. That's all I'm asking. That's chump change, man. You guys pay these actors millions and make billions. I just want 200,000. Come on. Anyway, moving on to the next bit of nifty nerd news that we got for you guys this week. James Gunn reveals whether the Suicide Squad is actually a part of the DCU canon, or like he confirms like which parts of it are. And honestly, it like he's trying to like pick and choose, like what parts of the Suicide Squad stuff is canon and not. Like, and I don't really like it. I guess, like, I mean, because it seems like, yes, DCU needs a fresh start, and that's what we're trying to do. But at the same time, he's like, well, but I made this thing, and I want what I did to kind of be part of it, right? But not all of it can be part of it, so I understand that. But the parts I like, I want to be canon. And so just say, look, everything Peacemaker, well, and I guess that's the problem, right? Is he's like, look, everything Peacemaker is canon, but Peacemaker makes references to the Suicide Squad. So you have to say, well, certain things that are said in Peacemaker make certain things that happen in Suicide Squad canon. And so it's like, it's getting a little bit confusing because, you know, trying to have its cake and eat it too. And I get it though, because like we've liked the Suicide Squad, right? Like I think the consensus is we like the Suicide Squad, so we want the whole thing to be canon. But the Suicide Squad makes references to the old DCU and the new, and so we kind of have to, in that aspect, choose which parts of it are canon and which parts aren't. So is it like a weird fever dream told? Like how do you make it make canon? Well, I mean, in reality, you just say, okay, these parts are it, and everyone just needs to grow the fuck up and say, yep, those are canon now. We understand. But that's not what's going to happen, right? Because we're a bunch of man babies, as see Pokemon Fight podcast part from 20 minutes ago. But like, people just get so up in arms about it. Like, even in the comment section of the article that I was reading about this, people were just like losing their shit over like James Gunn choosing what's canon, what's not canon. And I don't fucking care, I'll be honest. Like, whatever. Like, the DC is trying to do like a soft reset, I guess, now with their movies and everything. Well, or I mean, honestly, it's probably like a hard reset. And then they're also doing like Elseworld stuff. So there's movies that exist out there that aren't canon but are going to confuse. Like, I think that's the problem with DC. Or not the problem with them, but the problem that they're facing is that Marvel has come out to be like everything is connected with our movies and stuff. And so people are like, okay, superhero movies, everything's connected and stuff. And DC is like, well, we're a little different than that. And people are like, okay, well, Marvel says everything is connected, so why isn't all your shit connected? Because Marvel's doing really good. And it's kind of, I think, put DC in a weird place because Marvel has established like, hey, this is how we should do things. And despite some of the disparity between successes, overall, you know, Marvel has been pretty damn successful in that, and how they make their movies and how they connect their movies. So I can see how people think DC is the same way, but then DC comes out and says, well, you know, Robert Pattinson's Batman's not the Batman. We'll make it so. Like, that's what people are like. And I'm even like that because I like Robert Pattinson's Batman. I think it would be cool to add him into the new Marvel Cinematic Universe. But then, you know, you're asking an actor to, I said Marvel, DC. Yes, the DC universe. But, and like I said, that's a big ask for an actor, right? Like, we understand that signing like a 7-movie deal or something like that, or like, hey, we want you to do like 3 of your own movies and 2 like joint movies. Yeah, like 5-movie deal, right? Like that's a big ask for an actor. That's like putting them away for potentially 10 years of films, which, I mean, us as regular people are like, hey, I'm locked into a job for 10 years. That's great. I don't have to worry about my family. But for actors and artists, you know, like telling them they're locked in a cage for X amount of years could probably be anxiety inducing, especially if they like to really express their art in different ways. I don't know. Anyway, oh, do I hear an ambulance? I thought I heard something. I guess not. I thought I heard an ambulance, so I started to pull over. Anyway, moving on to the next bit, a nifty nerd news. Since we were kind of talking about movies, let's switch over to Marvel now. So I didn't know this, but supposedly there's going to be a Strange Academy television series over from the Marvel side. So, Strange Academy, if I remember correctly, was or is currently a comic series that's coming out. It's like Doctor Strange starts an academy. So it doesn't focus on Doctor Strange so much as it focuses on the students with magical abilities, which I think is a great premise for a Marvel Disney Plus show, especially because you can make it more drawn towards children. And I feel like, well, you had Miss Marvel come out, which was kind of younger audience based, but still really pan to older fans, like people like me who love the series of Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel. But I think Doctor Strange and Strange Academy, you could really lean more into it. Maybe not go full like Disney television show, but be very light-hearted and fun, and like you get to deal with magic, which is really cool, man. It's like the new Harry Potter. It's Marvel's Harry Potter, is what it is. But I think this is fun. I think this is a good opportunity. But what the more fun part is it seems like, what is his name? Benedict Wong? Or, no, God damn it. What is the guy's real name? Well, Wong in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. God, what is his real name? The actor's name. People are probably screaming at me. I'm sorry. Well, if you're listening this far, you're probably screaming at me. It's probably dead silent, if I'm being honest with you. But, like, the guy who plays Wong, is going to be the lead in this series, which I'm a huge fan of. Like, Wong started out as like, this little secondary side character in the Doctor Strange movie, and then he's kind of morphed into this almost like Stan Lee type character where he just kind of keeps showing up in things. He was in She-Hulk, where like he didn't play a major role. Like, She-Hulk was helping to defend him, which was really fun. And then like him and this character, what is her name? It wasn't, what was it, Brittany, or what was her name? It was something funny, and it's just like, it has a Y, but not where you think, or some crazy like that. I don't know. It was fun. So like his comedy, like this actor's comedic timing is great. It's fun, and it's kind of like a weird straight man in a strange world. Like, I don't know. Like, I like Wong's character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh yeah, he shows up in the freaking Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings, which that was really fun and really cool. And I don't know. Like, I like Wong. I think Wong is a great character. Getting him to lead this series would be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping he plays a bigger role moving into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because now he's the Sorcerer Supreme. If I remember correctly, Doctor Strange gave up the Sorcerer Supreme title, and Wong has it now. And so, I don't know. It's cool. I like it. I dig it. And I'm kind of excited for that. Like, the more I've talked about it and the more I've thought about it, I'm excited for the Strange Academy, because I think there's a lot that they can do with it. And like I said, geared towards a younger audience. It's kind of a way to kind of get a reset, or like, let's try the Doctor Strange thing again and get it working. And like the magic aspect of the Marvel Universe is kind of cool. So like, I'm excited to see what we can do with that. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it, man, for the Nifty Nerd News this week. Thank you guys for sticking around this long. Hopefully you have enjoyed that. I got to go back to the house, because I got to go apply for the podcast program for Comic Palooza. So hopefully you guys will see me at Comic Palooza again for 2025. I'm already off that weekend, so I don't have to burn vacation time for it. So I'm pretty damn excited. So hopefully they will accept my podcast again this year, and we'll get to talk about some stuff. Me and Casey have talked about what are we going to do this year. Last year we did fictional father figures, and I think this year we're going to focus on mothers and some of the fictional mothers. But I got to find an M word for like fiction to throw in with moms, because alliteration is key, right? Because like it just makes everything sound cooler. So that's the job. Anyway, guys, thank y'all for listening to the Nifty Nerd News. Up next, talk about what we're going to review for this week.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking around to the last part of the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm back in the home office, so that's why the mic quality has gone up some. But anyways, now that I think about it, I don't really have much to talk about this week, guys. Haven't been really doing much of anything. Uh, we had a freeze down here in Texas where I was at. The area I live in got a little bit of snow, not a lot, but the big worry, and because I work at a power plant, was that it would trip. Like, we didn't want the unit to trip, well, both units to trip, either of the units to trip, and potentially lose supplying power to the grid, which could potentially cause, I'm sure, millions of Texans to lose their power. And we don't want that. I don't want that hanging on my head, because a lot of that power those people depend on with their lives. And so I was at work. We established a storm crew, so I had to stay over. I think I stayed 2 nights. Not too bad. Well, I say I was working nights and slept during the day. So I had to stay 1 day, but 2 nights. And you know what? We did it. We succeeded in keeping our units running the majority of the time of the freeze. I know it's going to get cold again today. It's Friday, but we did our part, man. Like, we crushed it and kept the units running. And I'm proud of my guys, proud of me. And honestly, we had like no hiccups. So that was great. I think we had like 1 or 2 alarms come in, but they were things that we could easily handle. So it wasn't like unit tripping events or anything like that. So we did really good. In fact, I do remember the lights flickering at one point, and then later finding out like they flickered on our site, because we get our normal power from off site, and then we supply power back to the grid. It's kind of crazy, kind of almost seems counterproductive, right? You take power from the grid to produce a lot of power. But we saw the lights flicker at work. Come to find out later, I think a couple of other plants, maybe they were oil and gas, I don't know what they were, but other plants, I know they weren't nuke, because there's only 2 of us in the state of Texas. So there were some other kind of power plants did end up tripping at some point. Don't know for how long. But not us. Thank God. And you're welcome, Texas. No, but anyway, that's pretty much it, man. I've been, like I had mentioned in a previous podcast, I found my old vintage Pokemon cards, right? And then I bought some off a friend who was trying to sell theirs, and I was trying to go around shops to sell them for a fair price, but shops were only wanting to give me like 50% or 60 store credit. And, I remember maybe it's only at conventions that they'll buy higher than 60, like 65 to 70%, because I remember when I was trying to get my 151 master set that like they were willing to make better deals for me there. And it seems like shops have just gotten more and more stingy. And like I feel like at one point the shops that I frequent, they were buying at like 60% cash, 65 to 70 store credit, and then a shop hit me with 50%, and I was like, what? And they were like, well, I can do 60 if it's store credit. And I was like, Jesus, dude, like, do you understand the value of this card? Like, I would do better selling it myself for 70% of its value and like cutting that loss. And like, we're talking a quite expensive card. But I don't know, man, it was kind of upsetting. And so I ended up just offering my friend a bunch of money, to buy all those cards. And so where I get cards, a lot of cards that I like, and then some that I'm going to try to sell eventually, and they get more money than a shop was ever going to offer them. So, like, hopefully we all feel good about it. The shops probably don't, because they missed out on some really good cards, but whatever. So that being said, I've come across quite a few vintage cards, and I've been going through them, man, and I'm thinking about trying to complete my vintage master set. So like base set, fossil, and jungle set. And if I can master set those, I would be pretty stoked, man. So I'm thinking that's what I want to do next. Like, that is my goal, is to try to get the complete sets to the OG3, base, fossil, and jungle. And then I don't know. I think there's some other sets that come right after that and Team Rocket. Team Rocket's one of the other OG sets I want to. In fact, Team Rocket, I think I'm even close. I'm way closer to completing that set than anything else. So I'm really excited, and hopefully I can get that one completed. That would probably be the next set to master set because I'm so close to completing that set. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. But anyway, that's all that I got, guys. Thank y'all so much for listening to the show this week, and we will see you guys next week. Hopefully, I will do something new, something to review, because I really haven't had anything. Just been working. So we'll talk to you guys next week. Bry-Fy out.